Hello, Landedkiller here. We're gonna talk a little bit about one of my biggest. I didn't realize what today was, but then I looked at the date and I realized today is the 10th anniversary of the iPhone 4S launch. And it's been about 10 years since Steve Jobs passed away. So I wanted to take this time to briefly go over what I thought of Steve Jobs. I thought the man was incredible. It was incredible watching him continue to pull off innovation after innovation year after year. I believe the man had his flaws, as every man does, especially when it came to the factories over in China, Foxconn specifically. I remember the feeling when I first picked up an iPhone 3GS. I was like, wow, this is such an amazing device. And I remember back in the day when you could have YouTube running in the background without having to pay for YouTube Premium. I still miss those days, just simpler times. That's why we're on Temple Run 1 and not Temple Run 2 recording this, because this was around 10 years ago when Steve Jobs was and when iPhone 4S was launched. It's hard to think that this game is still around after all this time. The Angry Birds, which was popular back then too, that's gone. The original Angry Birds anyway, that's long gone. Instead we have pay to win alternative. Now we have pay to win in like almost everything in over 10 years. Back to Jobs, I just watched through a good 2-hour documentary on him, the CNN one that they did back in 2015. Highly recommend watching it because it gives you a nice critical overview of how Steve was like. Of course, there's the movie there's two movies actually, one with Ashton Kutcher, one with Michael Fassbender playing Jobs. They're both really decent. They go over different aspects of Jobs. The man himself was decent, but he did have a habit of bullying some people that were under him, and I don't think it was necessarily a good practice to Wozniak, particularly his partner, to not give him that full $5,000 when they made that arcade game together. And he only gave him $350, and then of course all about tax evasion nonsense that Apple may engage in. I believe so. Irish companies, there was big hearings on it way back in the day. But as for Steve Jobs, good man indeed. As for iPhone 4S, I actually had one of those too, but it was many years after when it launched. It was way in the future, I think. I think it must have got the iPhone 4S about 2 to 3 years after it officially launched, but still. I always like to look back on historical milestones, and a better way to sit there and look back than to have this be recorded on iPhone 13 Pro. Because back in the day, things were just more simpler, weren't they? New iPhone, new Mac would come out every year, and we just do that. But these days it seems that things are just way more complicated, especially with social media. It's hard to think that even Facebook was still in its infancy when iPhone was launched. I think it was maybe still in the college dorms. Honestly, it's just amazing to think what the last 10 years has brought. I thought it would probably have been a front cover edition of Time or something like 10 years on. We remember Steve Jobs, yada yada yada, but I didn't really see anything. Maybe it's because you have to look a little harder for those things, but it's amazing it's been 10 years without Jobs, and yet Apple still holds on, which is good. I'm glad the company's continuing to prosper, as I really do enjoy the iPhones. iPhones I have had personally have been 3GS, iPhone 4S, iPhone 5, iPhone 5S, iPhone XR, now iPhone 13 Pro. It's crazy to think that I've had so many different phones. The biggest upgrade, of course, is going from the 5S to the XR, which I used to record a lot of the temp run videos on. Now that is retired and all my videos are being recorded on the 13 Pro now. I believe the XR was the last iPhone that Jobs actually designed. I believe so anyway. But yeah, you know, it's just crazy to think that it's been so long since we've seen a Steve Jobs at Apple introducing us to the iPad or the iPhone. And to think that this game was around way back when. This game was just starting out with that. I'm a big fan for remembering historical dates. I really am. I think we should all remember Steve Jobs as a man who innovated, but was a stubborn man who innovated and really just took to heart his company and his passions. And I think we can all learn a lesson from his life to be passionate about what we believe in. Right now, my passion is focused on this YouTube channel right here, getting it to grow more and more. So please, take some time to remember Steve Jobs. Help me improve this YouTube channel. Give me suggestions. Help me get to that 1,000 subscribers. I will make it worth your while, and I'll continue to make good content that you can enjoy for years to come. Because honestly, I want to keep making content on here, and I want this channel to grow, and I believe in its potential. And honestly, I think one of my favorite things about YouTube is being able to take time to remember important events and just making videos about them so that younger generations can understand the impact that influential individuals have had on their own lives. I know this world will never be the same without Steve Jobs. I know that many look up to him the way that they look up to Elon Musk now, and I'm just like, wow, look at how far we've come. So take time to appreciate what you have, because it won't always be here forever. That's what I wanted to say today. Thank you for watching. Please take time today to remember Steve Jobs' iPhone 4S anniversary today exactly. You can look it up, iPhone 4S 10th anniversary. So if anybody has an iPhone 4S still around, they're lucky ducks. Most of us are on the newer phones now, but thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and be on the lookout for future World of Warships and Temp Run 2 videos. Thank you for watching.